Haunted Mansion starring Eddie Murphy was a horrible movie.
That movie made me join a cult.
It's stupid elementary school fodder.
I actually enjoyed that movie.
Such a shame. The game licensed from that movie isn't half bad. If you've seen my Cat in the Hat review, you would know that half the time I don't think movie licensed games suck. Half the time they don't, as some of them are held as some of the greatest of all time. But unlike Cat in the Hat's game, where that game is just horrible, even worse than the actual movie, today's game is 10 times better than the actual movie it's licensed from. This being the Haunted Mansion. Anyway, this game, what it does, it tackles both of its material pretty well. So, let's take a look at it. The story of the game is about a person by the name of Zeke Calloway. He answers a want ad of assistant caretaker for a mansion in the bayous of Louisiana a few months after the Civil War. However, upon entering the mansion, he encounters ghosts. These ghosts are a duelist, a sweet old lady, an organist, a beheaded knight, an opera singer, and a pirate. These ghosts take him to see Madame Leota. She tells Zeke that an evil ghost by the name of Atticus Thorne wants to rule both the land of the dead and the land of the living. In doing so, she gives Zeke a lantern as a weapon and a mission to collect gems called soul gems to make the lantern more powerful, as well as collecting a total of 999 souls to save by going into each room of the mansion, and so your journey begins. The gameplay is a puzzle adventure game. Here, the goal is to get into each room of the mansion and solve the puzzle of that room to turn the lights on. With it being a puzzle game, how do each puzzle hold up? Well, some of them range from surviving hordes of monsters to thinking outside the box. An example being in the 4A. The light switch is located on two sets of stairs. You attempt to go up on both stairs, but the second you step on them, they fall. You could try to jump, but you can't. So your only option is to start wandering around the room. Later, you notice a picture that is pulsing. Pressing the action button sends you right into the picture. Now that you're in the picture, you follow the path up, and you end up on the second floor. You just make your way to the light switch and turn the lights on. That is an example of the type of thinking you will have to do for each room. If you do get stumped, pressing anywhere on the control pad, Madame Leota gives you a hint in the form of a riddle. However, as the game goes on, sometime later, the puzzles start to feel a little samey, like you have to use rugs in one room to move furniture, then in another room, you use rugs to move walls around. After that you turn lights on in each room, you have to start collecting souls in the room. To do this, look for pulsing objects like couches and plant pots. Usually, a total of 5 souls gets released from each of the hiding places. You have to collect a total of 999 souls. It may seem like a lot, but you'll be able to get that number pretty easily. It's like a situation that sounds worse than it actually is. In some of the rooms, you will go up against Atticus Thorne, the main bad guy of the game. When you do fight him, he's really a pushover. However, for his final boss, I'll say it's extremely disappointing. Now, the question you're all probably asking, is the game scary? Well, is Disney's Haunted Mansion ride scary? The game doesn't do much in terms of being frightening, though at times it may get a little creepy, but even then, it's a very rare occurrence to happen. Heck, you even go to hell for a short bit. Imagine that. You actually get to visit hell in a Disney game, even for a short bit. The enemies you end up going up against are things like ghouls, gargoyles, giant spiders, skeletons, creepy girls with long hair, walking suits of armor, and a blue version of the Grim Reaper. The last one to me is the most creepiest. Just the way it moves around and the fact that if you're not careful, he can kill you in 2 or 3 hits. But from that, the game lets the atmosphere and puzzles in each room speak for themselves. While at the same time, the game tries to give you some lore into the universe of the game. There's something about a Brotherhood of the Souls and Order of Shadows. I don't know, nor do I care. It's the least memorable part of the game. The game doesn't really need to give any lore when its main story is all that it needs. Another thing, the camera at times is horrible. It likes to move especially during any platforming segments, and it causes you to fall off the path you're trying to leap on. And it doesn't give enough depth perception. It just gets annoying, especially when you have to use the same steps again within the puzzle. Disney's Haunted Mansion game is a decent game. It has really good atmosphere, really creative puzzles, and it recreates parts of the movie and the ride pretty faithfully. However, the game wants to give you lore, but it turns out to be really forgetful. The camera likes to jump around, and especially towards the end, the puzzles start to feel a little bit stale. So, with those, I would say for you to consider it. As a Halloween game to play every year, that's good. It does its job for that. But as something to play year-round and, well, every day, not for that. So, that's that. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.